Well, what a lovely day, eh? This is about, I think this is the first day I've been out since May, since I posted a video about that sort of time. It's towards the end of August. If I remember, I'll put the date up, but I never remember, so I wouldn't get too excited. It doesn't really matter. And I'm out walking to lochs today. It's going to be tough going, northeasterly wind, bright day, forecast the same for the whole week. I just can't seem to get lucky with weather at the minute, but sure. Isn't it such a lovely day to be out on the hill, you know? And you get such a great view and just enjoy the walk. So I'm feeling the walk, I've got to say. In part, that's why I'm making this wee video, because it kind of gets me started and gives me a wee break. So I'm going to footer my way on up over the top of the hill here, and we'll see where we go after that. Hopefully we'll get a fish, but well, I wouldn't hold your breath, you know. The situation is that I don't have a banana today because I'm not quite fully prepared yet, so I don't have a banana in my supplies. What a day to be out in the moor, like, isn't it? I mean, I know anybody with any wit knows that this isn't really a fishing day, but that's not going to stop me, you know. Like, when you can come out here, there's hundreds of lochs out here. I know you can't, like, see any at the minute, but that's just because of where I'm standing. But there are hundreds of lochs out here, and you can pretty much walk where you want if you're fit enough to do it. And of course, I haven't really had the chance to walk much since I was fishing in May. So as you can hear, I'm panting and puffing and getting on. And I'm not getting any younger either, which doesn't help. But most of my problem, to be fair, is just sheer laziness, you know. And not being out on the hill much over the year. So, see the wee puddles. I've seen fish in puddles like this. In fact, even big fish, you know. I was talking to a chap last night who we were discussing a 12-pound trout that pretty much came out of a puddle like that. The chap, he caught it on a worm, admittedly, but the wee puddle was full of shrimps, and the chap saw what he thought was like a bow wave moving across it. And he thought, I wonder would there be a fish in that? And he was fishing the worm, you know, and when he threw his worm in, well, he had a 12-pound trout. So it's the weirdest thing. It's also interesting, and you know what, there's lots of scope for making interesting discoveries when you come out here. Plus the walking's great, hard going, but sure, it's so lovely to have the place to yourself. So this is kind of the first chance I've had to fish since, I think it was May, you know. So it's nice to get back out again, get a cast. I'm on a Barvis Crippler and one of John McLean's sort of special versions of the Connemara Black. It's tied with quite a bit of body to it, you know. It's like tied like a ball fly pretty much, though I have it on the point. And I've just put on sun cream and stuff, and my hands are slidey, so I can hardly hold on to my rod. The rod today is my Dave Lewis, so it's built by a rod builder called Dave Lewis, an American chap, on a sage blank. It's an 11-foot sage blank, because I believe Sage were trying to break into the UK market, and they built a blank for like UK loch fishing. Now it's still not the best loch rod. My leaded dragonfly is still the best loch rod in my view, but it's a nice rod to fish, and obviously it's a lovely rod. Dave was a fabulous rod builder, so it's a fabulous piece of work, you know. And for a nice day like this, it's good to give it a day out. So that's what's going on here. And it'll take me a wee minute or two to get into my rhythm, you know. So it's a fairly bright day, and I'm not seeing anything moving at the minute. And you know yourself, in northeast wind, bright day, it's always going to be tough going. And I met a really nice chap just as I was getting on the ferry. He recognised my car and said, "Oh, are you the chap that has made some of the Lewis fishing videos?" And I was talking to him. He's coming to Lewis for a week, and then he's going to South Uist next week. And regrettably, it does look like the weather is set like this for the whole week. So I feel so sorry for him, you know, because it would have been great to see him get some excellent conditions, and get some good fishing, you know. But you know yourself, when it's like this, really, you don't have much chance of getting good fishing, you know. You might get a fish, and it's lovely for a day out, and all these things, but you just, maybe into the evening, there might be a few sedges or something come off here. That might be, you know, worth a wee splat. But so I didn't get his name, unfortunately. Other than he was a very nice chap, and I was talking to him at the ferry, you know. But hopefully he'll get a few fish and a few excellent days out. And I think he was with his wife, so I think he was planning on doing a bit of the touring as well. And of course, you get weather like this, well, it's perfect for that, you know. We should all maybe just be doing the touring. Well, what a lovely day to be out in a loch. Like, you get the good view and the nice walk and the rays of the sun and all these things. I still haven't. I'd had a wee drink of water. I haven't had a cup on it yet, so no tea yet. But and I still haven't changed my tactics. I'm still on the Barvis Crippler and again one of John McLean's Connemara Blacks. If you don't know, John McLean is a local fly tyer here in Lewis, ties some fantastic flies. If you're coming, you need to get in touch with him. He's usually very busy, so if you're coming next year, you'd want to order now. He ties some traditional wet patterns, and he's also developing some of his own, you know. He fishes a lot, and comes from a family of anglers, you know. And I think his daughter does this great art. I mean, really, like, spectacularly great. But she also seems to really enjoy the fishing and seems to do really well at it, you know. She's in her teens, you know. She's young, but she's doing really fabulous art, and I think she actually has a show on in Stornoway at the minute, you know. So, a really amazing thing. So if you're coming to fish, get in touch with John and get his flies, either for trout or salmon. You know, he does both, and he's a well-known salmon angler here on the island, as well as the trout. Though I tend to fish more for trout than salmon, so you'll hear me talking more about his trout flies, I would say, you know. Currently, as was the case when I was here last year in the sort of back end of the season, there's no water in the rivers. We have bright sun and northeast winds. And I hope this stops soon. Because I don't know if you remember last year, but I fished like all of September last year, and I managed one day for salmon because there was only one day that there was a hint of water in the rivers. And I had a fish, mind, but just a lucky one, you know. But apart from that, basically, and the trout fishing last year was a disaster for me because I had weather like this every day, you know. And I'm sure the tourists love it, but the anglers don't. Time for the traditional cup of tea, and what a place to have it, eh? You know, and because this is my first day out and whatnot for a long time, I'm a bit tired, you know. I had to walk the whole way up here and whatnot, and really what I could do is sitting down and giving a few hours to see if the sun comes off the water or if the fish start moving or whatever, but I'm just going to wander back down soon and call it quits, you know. Maybe give this bank just in front of me here another wee bash, and then that'll do me. But really, can there be a nicer place to sit and drink your tea, you know? Just don't. And even if there's no fish, and I kind of, you know, I wasn't really expecting, I wasn't too hopeful today because it was more a walk today, really. Even if there's no fish, it doesn't matter when it's a day like this. You know, you get to come up here, the whole place to yourself, a few casts, a few cups of tea, and things like that, rather than just focusing purely on fishing and catching fish, you know. So I think a few more casts along here, and then that'll pretty much do me for the day. I'm waiting for my tea to cool down, and of course, on a hot day like this, I think the tea's actually warming up, you know. It's not been entirely successful, but nonetheless. So I'm going to have a few wee last casts just along here and then call it quits for the day. because I'm starting to get tired, you know. It's not like I've done much, but you know yourself, when it's the first day out in a while, and especially when it's such a hot day as well, you're a bit sort of, you know, something a bit different. So I'm feeling the tiredness. And I suppose it's a bit of a walk up here. It's actually, it's quite a nice walk really, a bit rough and uphill, but nonetheless a bit haggy as well, and you have to do it, you know. And of course when you haven't been walking in a while, you feel it a bit. Moved a fish. Can you believe it? After all that effort and standing about all day, it's on the grass grabber, I know that much. But apart from that, I don't know anything at all. So, not a bad wee fish. Really I would need a net to get him in. So the grass grabber does the business once more. I'm just going to try and oik him up the bank. There we go. Decent wee fish. Lovely quality. And onto the bank, you know. Oh, sink tip ruins the casting a wee bit, I suppose. So I think that's me done for today. Have to walk down the hill and whatnot. It's been a long enough day for the first day out. I hope you enjoyed the day out. I certainly did. I was completely surprised just to get a wee fish there. Just a wee late lucky grab, I suppose. But nonetheless, I'm over the moon to get it. As in these conditions, you know, so pleased about that, and it'll be in my lunch tomorrow for my sandwiches, I hope. So now I have to make my way back to the car, and it's quite a walk, so, and especially in the heat and whatnot, you know, makes for a tiring day out when you haven't walked for a while.